The command to look, as it is written by Anton LeVey. Command to look. Stephen E. Flowers, Ph.D., 5th degree, Temple of Set. Reprinted from Runes number 4-3, Order of the Trapizoid, 1986. In the chapter of the Order of the Trapizoid, I read that one of Anton LeVey's primal source works for the principles underlying the law of the trapezoid, and hence the order itself, was a book by William Mortensen, The Command to Look. Anton says that he had never seen nor heard of this book before, so he set out to find it. He was on the track of the trapezoid, which is sometimes an elusive trail, so he says. As he began looking, he soon discovered that the command to look was no arcane black book, but appeared in the University of Texas card catalog as a book on photographic techniques. His interest waned slightly, as he says. Besides, the only copy was in the Humanities Research Center, which is also home to much of Alester Crowley's personal library. That also means red tape. And he says red tape as in, don't cross this line. Well, he put off his quest for a few weeks. Well, weeks turned into months before he moved himself to take up the trail again. After finding the right collection on the floor, and after sitting through the required slideshow on how to handle rare items in the collection. He sat through a slideshow on how to handle it. So before the lady actually showed him the book, they made him watch a slideshow. After the librarian asked him, "Are you sure you want to do this?" he realized he was on to something. He was shown to a private reading room where he finally got the book, presumably dug out of some unseen vault. It was laid before him in a plexiglass cradle. Okay, this is strange. I'll continue to read. Which is to prevent damage to the tome. What did he see? There on the cover of a small book, he was confronted by the face of a baby, looking like a refugee from a Norman Rockwell painting. The librarian sarcastically remarked to him, "Looks real interesting." Well, let me get down here. Since he had gone that far, he opened the book. He did not expect much. He didn't expect much. Sorry, guys. He was very much surprised. The command to look is indeed a treasure trove of the black art, and the ideas contained in it should be made available to the order, not only on historical grounds, but also on the basis of their practical magical value. So this book that Anton went after, called The Command to Look, or the trapezoid. And we all know what a trapezoid is. As you just heard, with some very interesting things. Take that into context, guys. Now the theory behind this, as he continues to write. Mortensen insists that the main premises of the command to look, the CTL control, is closer to pure showmanship than anything else. The formula is threefold. The picture must, by its mere arrangement, make you look at it. Impact. And having looked, see. Subject interest. And having seen, enjoy. Participation. All three of these elements must be fully activated before the artist or magician can be said to have successfully commanded to look. All three, however, work in such rapid succession that it is almost always affected unconsciously with regard to the viewer. Now that is strange, guys. Therefore, the artist must carefully formulate his images to work efficiently in all three elements. The first element, impact, is physically precise. Its function is entirely one of the shapes or patterns the viewer sees. It forces the viewer to pay attention to the image. This initial force, which Morstein calls the pictorial imperative, is the force necessary to overcome the natural inertia of attention which holds most humans in a more or less constant grip. What he's saying is, when you watch TV, and say you're watching Family Guy, and you hear him talk, and you see Peter, and you see Lois, in the movements, that the things they do impact your subconscious mind and allow you and cause you to continue to pay attention to Peter or Lois, rather than trying to pay attention to what is actually there. The impact, in this initial sense, as Alester Crowley says, is supposed to make you think of the idea that they're putting out rather than looking at the actual picture. Now, according to Mortensen, impact is purely biological in effect. It is primarily dependent on shapes or patterns that serve as stimuli, signaling danger. These fear-arousing patterns must have their psychic models stored in the forms within the racial memory, or, to use the Jungian term, collective unconsciousness of humanity. Wow, guys, this is some deep stuff here. This is the Order of the Trapizoid, okay? Just understand this. Now, Mortensen identifies the 4 basic types of pictorial patterns that have the ability to cause this reaction. Now, he's saying what 4 patterns can cause someone to subconsciously think of an idea and implant it in their mind without them knowing it. These are the patterns he goes on to explain. The diagonal, e.g. the lightning bolt, something that moves swiftly with determination. The S-curve, e.g. the snake, something that approaches in a slithering fashion, or the curves of the body, especially a female, the line of beauty, as he calls it. Quote, triangle combinations, e.g. a blade, sharp points, or teeth, the threat of sharpness. Compact, dominant mass, large animal or trapezoid, massive block in one's path. I'm gonna post a link to this thing, guys, and you can continue to read. This book is huge, but I just showed you that one part because it references TV subliminally, and it was part of a Alester Crowley book, and Anton went to go get it, and the way he said he had to get this was just so interesting to me. He had to go through a lot to get that book, and when he actually got the book, he could only look at certain parts the librarian allowed him to look at. As he said, the red tape. I'll be back later with more, guys. I'm going to post this link in the description. This is the Satanic Bible, as Anton puts it, and if you come, here to read this, make sure that you're close to God, because this book is worded in such a way that it can intrigue you without you even knowing it. So just be careful, guys, when you come here. Now this is Sir Richard F. Burton said this. He said this himself. The more I study religions, the more I am convinced, that man never worshipped anything but himself. That's a lie, but that tells you something right there, I'll hit you up later, guys. Peace out.